So I just checked Canada Post's website, and my packages are at the mail. So my daughter, she has to go to the mail anyway, so she's going to pick those up for me. And when I get them, I'll open them up and test them out and see what's going on with those. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're two tablets, two as-is tablets with broken digitizers that I bought on eBay for dirt cheap. And in the meantime, since I don't have them yet, and I'm not exactly sure what time my daughter's gonna be back, I thought I'd show you these things too. So my downstairs neighbor and her kids made these little birdhouses. I'm not sure if they bought these pre-assembled or if they made them and painted them, or if they just bought them and painted them. But anyway, they're kind of neat, done by kids, so can't expect the paint job to be too good. But anyway, it's been pretty damp here lately, and the bottoms fell off, so I have some waterproof glue, and she doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna glue these things back together and take them back out and hang them up. So I figured that'll be my good deed for the day. And I have them in here. I've had them in the house ever since I think 8 o'clock this morning, and they've been on, well, the birdhouse itself hasn't been on the heater, but all of these little bits and pieces and the bottoms have been on the heater drying out, and these have been just set up like that, just right next to the heater, so they'll dry out good before I put any glue and clamp them and stuff. And they're pretty much dried out, so I should be able to do that right now. I'm not going to film it, but I'll come back when I'm done, and I'll show you what the end result's like. It's not going to be anything overly special, but anyway. Oh yeah, you can barely see that, but that's pretty much where I thought they came from. They're from Dollarama, so it's not a big surprise that they fell apart, but anyway. And before I go, I'll show you this stuff that I listed on eBay, and I wouldn't have thought they'd sell, but I heard about people selling this crap on eBay, and I thought I'd give it a try. So what I have here is a couple of batches of CPUs and some RAM. This is just old stuff that's really no good to anybody, you know, to reuse or whatever, but they might be useful for somebody to extract the gold from. I would never bother trying it because I don't know if it would be worthwhile, and I live in an apartment building, so I can't use chemicals in here anyway. But I listed these, and there's 7 CPUs. They're these old ceramic type, really old ones. There's one Intel i486DX, so that's probably a pretty sought after CPU by vintage collectors and stuff. But unfortunately the pins are all bent to shit on all these CPUs. So anyway, I sold that batch. I thought these would go for more because I sold a batch of cut off connectors from video cards and stuff. There wasn't very many in the little baggie, and those sold for $16.50 plus $10 for shipping, and these sold for $12.50 or something like that, and also $10 for shipping. These only sold for 99 cents. That's what the starting bid was, and that's what they sold for, which is, yeah, it's okay. I got no use for them, so anyway, $5 shipping for those. But the same person bought both of these, so I'll probably ship them together and give them a bit of a break on the shipping. That is, if it costs me less. This batch of CPUs are mostly Pentium 4 pinned CPUs, and there's one AMD Athlon CPU there with a couple of broken pins on it, and those all have bent pins. Those didn't sell, so I don't know. Maybe there's not a lot of gold in those or something. And these old sticks of RAM, they didn't sell either. I'm kind of surprised they didn't. So maybe I'll just cut those gold fingers off of them and sell them like that, because that bag, like I said, that bag of gold connectors, those sold for $16.50. That's Canadian money. And I also bought something else on eBay. I wasn't really planning to, but I was surfing around and I saw something I needed, and it was from the same seller that I bought the 2 tablets from. I'm not going to give too much more away because I want to do a video of that tomorrow, because that's not coming through Canada Post. It's too heavy, so it's going to come tomorrow sometime via UPS. So I'll do an unboxing of that and I'll test it out. It's not supposed to work, which isn't a big deal because I got it dirt cheap. But anyway, I'll do a video about that tomorrow, and you guys will probably see that video maybe tomorrow night or possibly Saturday. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload it, but for now I'm going to go. I just saw my daughter walk by, so I'm going to go find out from her whether she got the mail or not. Alrighty, so let's get into this darn thing because my battery's starting to run dead. So I'm assuming that both tablets are in the same box, because this seller usually sends items in a smaller box, as small a box as possible, so hopefully, like I said, they're both in here. And so there's the packing slips. Toss that. And yes, they are. They're both in here. I'm actually surprised they were able to fit both of those in that one box. So let's open this one up first. I'll show you the other one. This is one that I've been using for a while. This is the one I put the new digitizer in. So just to compare. Okay. So this one is exactly the same. Get another one of these little cheap flimsy stands. So this one's exactly the same as that one. And like the listing said, there's nothing else, just basically the tablet and the OEM box and this little cheap ass doodad. So we'll set that aside, and later on in the video we'll test these out. So I'm pretty sure they probably don't have any charge. They've been in the mail for a couple days and sitting on their shelf for God knows how long. So put that one aside, and I'll try to charge these up and come back later on in the video and I'll show you guys whether they work or not. I'm pretty sure this one's gonna work. The other one I'm not so sure about. So this is the Memo Pad 8. Pretty much identical to the one I have already, except for it's got a slightly bigger screen. Oh, that's a little bit of a surprise. It came with the charger. It wasn't supposed to come with the charger or any other accessories. Just exactly, oh, not that one, the other one. Supposed to have been the same as the other one. Wasn't supposed to come with any, oh, well that's not a, well that's weird. They must accidentally threw that in the box. I don't know if you can see that, but that says Samsung. But that's okay by me. I'm happy to have another charger, especially one I wasn't expecting. And the only other stuff in the box is a bunch of pamphlets and instructions and stuff like that. So this one's got a nice rubbery back on it. And let's just hit the power button just to see. And oh, did you see that? It just flashed a little battery. So this one's probably gonna work. So I'll charge it and see what happens. So let's just, for the heck of it, try this one again. I might not held the power button long enough. See if anything happens. This one might be stone dead, or maybe it doesn't even work. Alrighty, so it's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've been charging the tablets for probably about 2 hours. And before we go to these tablets to see if they actually work, let's take a quick look at what I've done to these birdhouses. So I don't have clamps that are that small. So what I had to do was scrounge up a couple of elastic bands and just wrap them around there, and that's plenty enough to hold those small pieces on there until they dry, and then it's just a matter of putting some glue around the edges and slapping the bottom back on, and they'll be ready to go. So I did the same with both of them. Elastics on each end, and then I just wait for them to dry. The glue I used takes about probably half an hour to dry, but then like 24 hours to fully cure, so that you can actually put some weight on the thing and stuff. So I'll give it about 2 hours, and then I'll glue the bottom on, and then I'll give it overnight to actually set up, and that should be good enough, and they can hang them back outside. So now the birdhouses are all finished. It wasn't a major job or anything, it was pretty simple, but I think those kids downstairs will be pretty happy to have their birdhouses back, and I think the birds will probably be pretty happy too, because they did flock to these quite a bit over the couple days that they were up there. And probably the squirrels were too, I would imagine. But anyway, let's get back to those tablets and test them out, see if they're going to work. I probably wouldn't recommend that today, or probably even tomorrow, because it's raining like crazy out. So anyway, let me put these back in the drying spot, and we'll get to these tablets. So, as you can see, this one that I just brought in the picture is my tablet that I fixed a while back, and it works perfectly fine. And if I bring this one up, which is exactly the same as that one, and I hit the power button, it also works perfectly fine. So when I first put this on the charger and booted it up, the touch screen didn't work. So I popped the back off, and for some weird reason the cable was disconnected for the touch screen. I don't know if they were planning to put a new touch screen in it and then never did, or what, but anyway. This is cracked all to crap, but it is usable, which is good, and I kind of figured it would be. Also, the battery at first didn't seem to want to take a charge, So I plugged it into my computer instead of into a wall adapter, and it started taking a charge. So it's got about 29%, or it did have. So let's just go into the battery. Yeah, 29%. And I've had it unplugged for probably 5 or 10 minutes, so it hasn't gone down from that 29%, so I think it's going to be okay. So I think this one is a winner, and it should be worth putting a new touchscreen on. This one here is in really good shape. Touchscreen's broken, but the back is damn near perfect. And if I go get the box, I'll show you when the manufacture date was for these two tablets. So there's the date. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the date for this one is 2013 and the 11th month, so November of 2013 this one was manufactured. And this one here is quite a bit newer, or, well, not quite a bit, but a little bit. It was manufactured on January of 2014. So both of these are just shy of a year old, which isn't too bad. And getting back to this one, the touchscreen, like they said, doesn't work at all. So I'm taking a bit of a chance, considering, ooh, what the hell happened there? That just worked. Yeah, that just worked, so, weird. Okay, so the touchscreen does seem to work in some spots. So maybe it's not such a big chance after, what? It just worked. Okay, let's touch around here a bit. Yeah, so it does work in some spots. So I'm going to say that this is probably worth fixing too, which is good, because it's kind of iffy whether you should take a chance on buying a touch screen to put in a tablet that you're not sure about. But as you can see, the touch does work, so there's some kind of break in maybe the cable or whatever. But anyway, looks like both of these are probably going to be worth putting touch screens in, so I think I'll probably order them. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and if you haven't already, check out the channel and subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, share it, whatever you want to do. If you want to dislike it, that's fine too. But anyway, I gotta go outside and get wet.